So we do
I have to
one
ask
question.
You know what the GOAT's number was? 23. And the thing about this podcast, REI Baddies, they also have 23 episodes in their first year. That tells you they are the GOAT of podcasting right now. They're filling the space between OGs in the business and brand newbies. They are absolutely killing it. And also, we need way more women investors that are doing podcasts. Why? Because right now, there's proof, scientific numbers that are telling us that more women are entering into the business of real estate investing and developing than ever before. Here's the thing. You got to go check out their podcast every Monday morning at 6 a.m. These guys are such baddies, that they drop an episode early in the morning because only early birds catch that worm.
Welcome back, Baddies Nation, to another episode of REI Baddies, the podcast where real estate gets real. I'm your co-host, Rachel Davis.
And I'm Kate Baldwin, and I am unreasonably excited for this because Trevor is he's like one of our favorite humans. And also, Rachel and I feel like we need to disclose that this man is shooting her media kit. So it's even maybe a little bit more unbiased interview, but
it is completely unbiased. I am a professional. Trevor, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I am excited to be back. And Rachel, don't worry. We will make sure you look great from every angle.
I love that.
I know she's so cute today with her hair down and
Oh my gosh. So anybody who wasn't back with us in episode 7, Trevor came on with his fix and flip partner, Robert Cisgetti, and you two basically walked us through the whole fix and flip model. Shout out to Robert, by the way. We love that guy. But Trevor, a lot has happened since then. We would love the state of the union. What are you doing now?
Well, funny enough, Robert and I just got done walking our newest flip today. So we are still actively doing fix and flips. We're partnering with people who pretty much want to learn still how to fix and flip, but also we're looking for private money partners, private money lenders that want to learn how to fix and flip. So we just got another one. We've kind of transitioned more from all up in Palm Coast, which is like Northeast Florida, back into more Central Florida, which is where I live in Orlando. We've upped our game a little bit as well. We've tried to really systematize this business a lot more and actually work on the business instead of in the business. If you guys have met Robert and myself, we love to be hands-on in a flip, Robert especially. I enjoyed learning from him. I've learned a ton, but also realized that model wasn't scalable. So we kind of dialed it back a little bit, and this will actually be our first flip from start to finish. We have contracted a contractor, and he will be doing the entire thing from start to finish for us. So we're both really excited about that as well.
hey, that's new.
Yes, brand new.
I like that.
I love it.
So, so I guess that's actually super interesting. I know that there are other things going on in your life as well. If you kind of want to dig into those a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I'm excited to talk about those more because obviously we had a whole episode. Robert and I are still doing those. I wouldn't say trying to keep going like this on an upward trajectory of trying to do more and more and more. But I have always had I say always. My wife and I have owned a photography, videography business since about 2019 when she stepped into that just before COVID. So we've shot everything from weddings to now tiny home parks, which we can talk about that some more, which is where we'll be staying in Zion. I'm super excited. To, she does couples. She does anything with people in it and posing. Lindsay does that.
Yeah, because she usually does I know that you're dabbling in other services that kind of relate to real estate now. I know that you guys did some stuff with Squat Up and helping people do more branding, maybe kind of on the lines of that, trying to, because, obviously photography, as someone who does marketing, photography is probably the number one thing that if you don't have good photography, in my opinion, I mean, that's what most people look at. They don't usually read everything, right? So photography is such a huge part of branding. Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was really cool that you guys are doing those headshots.
Yeah, we did headshots. We did some media packages for some of the ladies there. Shout out to Whitney and Kayla. They were kind of the kickoff to that. Coincidentally enough, Squat Up Summit was over my 10-year anniversary with my wife. So I really wanted to go. I really wanted to be there. And when I told her when the dates were, she's like, "Oh, are you serious? We're not going." And then I kind of casually threw in there because Whitney asked me and said, well, somebody wants to hire you to do their photos. And she's like, oh. And I've slowly been trying to mold these two realms, our creative side, because I really want to pull her in. She loves, she loves helping design the flips, but we're both still really good at the creative side, making photos, making videos, that kind of thing. So it was nice to be able to pull her in and get her excited about going. And yeah, we had a great time. My family was there. I had some amazing babysitters for my kids as well that allowed us to go to an amazing anniversary dinner. But now we've got an Aunt Rachel, crazy Aunt Rachel.
Crazy Aunt Rachel who had a dinner of s'mores for the kids.
That's my kind of girl. I love
No wonder
that.
they were so warm with her the next day, because
So weird.
she gave them exactly what
That's
they
what
wanted.
we do. We spoil them.
I love it.
I know she actually is a really good way with children, but not like she's good.
She does.
She does.
It depends. Only when there's instant obedience. Trevor, you kind of hit on something that I want to keep talking about with marrying the creative side with Lindsay. How did you two start landing clients? Because you've talked a little bit about former baddie Whitney and her partner. How are you guys? I think a lot of people, and the reason I'm asking is a lot of people have these skills in our space that they're not monetizing, and they just don't know how to make that first move.
Yeah. It's a good question, and I part of it would like to say luck, because
I think
I'm not going to say luck. It does, but if you've met me, I'm not shy. I'll talk to anybody, and I'll also tell everybody everything about me.
Yeah.
So I'm not shy about telling people what we're doing. It's helped our fix and flip business grow. It's helped us bring in more private capital. It's helped more people understand, oh, we can reach out to them because we want to learn. But it's the same thing with photography. We carry around a camera or our phone, and I use that just as much as I use my professional camera because it's great, of what we do. I put a lot out on social media. I've been posting photos for years. My wife has a professional Instagram and Facebook and a website, so she's been promoting that, and we're also each other's biggest cheerleaders. So I promote everything that she does. She puts out amazing work. I just worked a wedding with her on Sunday, right after church. We drove up to St. Augustine, and that's truly where we both shine. We're creative. We kind of feed off of each other's energy. I see things she doesn't, she see things I don't, and we're not afraid to call each other out and be like, hey, don't miss this. So truthfully, it was really just starting to talk about it. But then I will give credit to Matt Starr, because I kind of cold reached out to him. I heard he was doing Telos. It was only like 2.5 months away. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, man, we're both in Owners Club. I know we've met once. I don't know you well, but I know you're doing this. Would you be open to letting me come and shoot it? And he immediately was like, wow, you must have been reading my mind. We actually still need to lock that up. I would love to support you. And I will give him, he's got a huge heart. And he's like, we're both in the same community. I explained to him, I'm trying to kind of like morph that world into this and really get a start of doing more people's media for masterminds, for branding, for headshots, for all of the things. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's work this out. So we discussed details, came to an agreement. I sent him a proposal and he accepted. And it was some of the best, I'd say, 2 days, but it was really like 4 days. We got there a day and a half early, stayed a day late. Then he was like, hey, you're staying anyway. Do you want to come shoot Creative Nation Tour LA? And then that turned into something. And then honestly, 2 or 3 people who spoke at that event have already reached out to me and said, hey, are you free to help shoot us? So it's just kind of been, just that tumbleweed just keeps picking up. And that's,
well, just from the perspective of the outsider looking in from our first talk that we've ever talked, you definitely were like my ideal, like Chip and Joanne, like Chip and Joanne's relationship, right? So he's like the fixer flipper. She's got that other type of mind. They have 2 different types of mind. They're 2 different personalities, but their blend is like perfect, right? And I think that you even like your personalities are very similar. I always tell people I'm always looking for my Chip. And it's kind of a cool and unique situation because she's very well grounded, she's very like straight, and you're like the go-getter, let's like talk to everyone in the room. And that type of relationship is special. I mean, you guys have definitely, and you're both very talented. Well, and it's crazy because it's something that I've been like looking at and figuring out, and I've been doing some stuff with Amber and Jesse and just trying to think outside the box. Like, what are other things that I have as experiences that I could bring in to this world that we have? So it's the passive income. It's talking about the future, something that can consistently create income. And so we can still do the fix and flips and we can still be a part of the capital raise, but it's like something that we can create within the community. That's not, and we also know that like you guys are going to show up, you're going to be there, you also have created that reputation, and your work is really what tells the story. So you don't even have to open your mouth.
I would agree.
I think that leads to, though, like, Trevor, you and I have had a lot of conversations about this, particularly with Owners Club, right? Like, and people in this community, they don't come for, like, I think a lot of people say they come for passive income, but the reality is real estate is not a passive vehicle. And so you've been able to take a skill set that you've had that's completely unrelated and use it in the community. Yeah. So for someone who has a skill set that's adjacent to real estate, whether it's, we don't want to like have a bunch of photographers, right? Because we don't want to give like a bunch of competition for you. And nobody's as good as Trevor. Remember, he's doing my media kit.
Yeah, of course.
But let's say they're like great with design or copyright or whatever. What's the mindset shift that they need to make to start treating their hobby like a business?
That's a good one, because honestly, and if you relate back to our first episode, my actual W-2 is in healthcare. So my mindset is still drifts back there. Trust me, I have those delusional thoughts all the time of like, this would be so much easier to just go back to full-time that. And originally when I first got into this, I heard of all of these, ways that a healthcare professional, and I could still keep my healthcare professional brain inside of real estate. And whether that's starting, some of the co-living style houses or other things for the elderly and
right.
different ways of doing that. And I kind of had to be like, don't force it. I kept trying to think that I had to bring that skill to real estate. And I really, really tried over the past year. And then I kind of abandoned it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to go learn all new skills. Where then it kind of came full circle. I was still shooting. I was still creating content. But it kind of came full circle of like, why am I not leveraging this skill that I'm already doing and start putting it out there as more of an offering? And truthfully, I thought it was easy because it comes easy for me. Being on camera, miking people up, directing people of how to pose, how to walk, where to go, looking at the right angles, looking at the sun, looking at the light. It comes easy for me after years of doing it. And honestly, it comes easy because I've listened to my wife. She's the man behind all this. She's the one that took on photography first. She is the one that I followed in her footsteps. I will own that until the day I die. This is not something that was my idea. I was content being a PT, and she always, I got her a camera.
Well, she needed a second shooter.
That's true. So I was her assistant.
I know all about that.
Almost landed my drone in the ocean on the very first wedding we ever shot. The groom didn't even take off his tux. He grabbed a surfboard and he jumped in because he got married at Cocoa Beach and he was a big surfer. And I was like, I just got this drone. I'm going to take photos of him. Well, when the battery starts beeping at you that it's low battery, it means to pull back, not push it. Well, I push it. And I literally skidded the drone into the sand as it died. It was about maybe 20 seconds from landing in the ocean. And
how pissed was Lindsay when you did that?
She was more relieved. And it wasn't the last time that I've almost crashed a drone.
Yeah, drones are tough, especially if it's windy out, and you got the waves and all that stuff. Yeah,
I found that.
I also think that you really wanted to do something with your wife. I think that Lindsay and you needed to be a part of this together. And I think that was the more natural way. And God just aligned everything. And I think having her with you is part of the reasons too.
I am very codependent on her, I will admit.
I don't think it's a codependent thing. I think you just like to be together. And
I definitely do. And I think you put that well. I love being around her. I love working with her.
Yeah, and
truthfully, I'm super attracted to her when she's in her realm of photography and directing people at the wedding. I'm like, man, this chick is badass.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So while we're all, we love you, Lindsay. You're amazing. But I think we should talk about the Zion. I'm really excited about Zion. I've been there once. I know Rachel's going to your mastermind. I know you guys had a big project out there with your little homes. Do you want to walk us through the events, kind of what your vision is, the venue, what it's for, and how it all came together?
Sure. Yeah, so this is if you know me, I have plenty of ideas. I don't always execute on all of them. That is definitely the visionary side of me, but I have friends that I've met through Owners Club. Shout out to Kelly Zadonis and Nicole Reed, who bought Zion Tiny Getaway in Apple Valley, Utah. It is about 15 minutes outside of Zion, so it's just south, right on the Utah-Arizona border. And I reached out to them. Again, I wasn't afraid to kind of do cold outreach, even though I hate cold outreach. I reached out to them and I said, I have a really good idea of how to promote your park and bring you more revenue. Of course, everybody wants to hear it. So I kind of baited them into getting on a call with me. And then I pitched them on my idea of, we do photo and video. I love Zion. I've taken a look at your park. I've done some research. I really think that, no offense, but you could use some updating to some of your photos, your videos. I think I could provide you with stuff. I won't charge you anything. I said, just pay to get me out there. Obviously, you own the park. Let me stay the nights there. I'll get, like, I won't charge you anything for the finished product. And they were like, we love this. We want you to do this. And we want you to come back not once, but maybe a couple more times. And I was like, okay. So I told my wife. And then ultimately I said, I want to bring my wife. I'll cover her fees. If you still cover mine, I'll keep the same deal. And it was almost, then they were kind of like, well, have a good time. Like, kind of make it a little like vacation too. And that's why I love them. It wasn't just like, no, you're here to work. We had a good time. I ended up sitting and having dinner with Kelly and her husband, Greg, had drinks with them in one of the tiny homes. We stayed there for, I believe, 3 or 4 nights. I did my thing at night. I would do astrophotography, which I absolutely love, but tried to get some creative shots there. I brought the drone. We did photos. We did videos. I got them reels. I have content that they've now been using. I mean, and it's been over 2 months since we've been there. And the goal was then I came back and I said, I have this other idea. And my real way of pushing revenue, not just through media, but now you have this amazing place. Originally, I've been wanting to start, my wife and I have been wanting to start and or take over a wedding venue. We've been around weddings for 6-7 years now. It's not really suited for a wedding. It's on the side of a main highway. It's a little noisy, it's a little busy. It's beautiful views, but it's just not fit for that. But I said, there's other events I think we could bring here. And I want to bring our community here to experience what you two have taken over and what you're building. So I said, I'd really like to host kind of more of like a getaway or a retreat. And they loved it. We actually talked about it while we were there with Kelly and her husband. We even talked about, we did some content for them of the local bike shop and about doing some bike getaways and different things in partnership with them. So then I had also met Tiffany Curtis there at the same time. She lives right down the street, maybe 20 minutes down the street inside of Coral Pink Sand Dune State Park. Beautiful, beautiful night skies. Her husband, Kobe, myself, her, and my wife all went on an adventure. And we start talking and we're like, you used to lead an adventure company, like a guide company. They would take people off-road in 4x4s to the backcountry in Zion and take them on hikes. And I said, I've really thought about this for a long time. And we just basically had a mastermind. We drove about an hour and a half to a place called the Great Chamber, which Rachel will get to see in May because we will be going there again. And then an hour and a half back. And we just chatted and we said, what if we did this thing? I said, I will organize it. I just need your help because you're here, because you're local. And she's become so much more than that. We've partnered on this. We just had another call last night, and we've actually already filled 4 of 10 slots that we're going to be opening up. So we are deeming that as our adventure retreat, not necessarily a mastermind, because it is May 27th to the 30th. We're capping it at 10 spots for this first one. We want to keep it a tight-knit group. There are some opportunities to hopefully expand again in the future. And then I've already almost started to pick out some dates in like early to mid-August for doing another one. Not necessarily this time in Zion, because Zion, that is monsoon season and it is hot. But we're thinking of somewhere, maybe Glacier National Park, maybe coastal Oregon, maybe Washington, maybe Northern California. Somewhere still mountainous and still that adventure retreat, adventure vibe.
That's awesome.
The idea behind this is not to, like, I've been to great masterminds. Matt Starr's mastermind, Matt Multifamily 2-Day was very intense, but amazing. Mine is a different spin on that 2-day boot camp / mastermind where people actually get out and are doing things out in nature. If you met me, I love to camp. I love to hike. I love the outdoors. I love nature. So I want to share that with other like-minded people to get exercise, but also experience hard things and do hard things together. So that way at the end of the day, we've come back from this hike or this rappel or whatever it may be, and then we come back and we talk about not only the challenges we went through together as a group, but maybe the challenges in your business, the challenges in your life, your home life, your parenting life, whatever it may be. It's not reserved to just your business and just real estate and just Owners Club. I want to expand it to so much more and start having more of these. And I pitched this at Squat Up Summit to a few people, and I had one in particular that I'm excited to talk about. He was like, I've wanted to do this for a long time. We love to adventure. I want to partner with you on this because truthfully, one of me and one of Tiffany, so we can't be at every one. And I'd love to do this.
That's great.
Expand this to more groups. And yeah, so that's the vision. We will see how this year shakes out. But so far, it's good feedback. And now I just got
if somebody on the Baddies Nation is like listening to this or they get a clip of this, because maybe we should share this like ahead of time, just clips of this. how do they get involved? Like, what do they need to know to like get involved if they want to be for this opportunity?
Yes, so we have a landing page out. We have the domain of epicadventureretreat.com,
Okay.
and then this one will be /Zion. So I can give that to you all if you want to link it in
Perfect.
here. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And you actually just go on there and fill it out. That will ask you for your information, and then I would reach out to you directly from there. That for this one. But obviously, if you hear this at a later date and it's already full, rest assured I will be doing another one in August, and then another one will be going back to Zion in October, maybe early to late October.
Zion is like one of my favorite places.
This is going to be funny because some people in Baddies Nation, like, that you may think like I jumped out of airplanes, like I went to Everspace Camp, I did badass things. Dude, when we rappel, I will turn into such a chicken. Like, I hate rappelling. Like, I would rather jump. I would rather, so the difference between rappelling versus jumping, Kate, like jumping, like I just jumped out of an airplane, right, with a static line parachute that exited. Rappelling, you rely on someone else having you on belay. And so you'll like lean over, you're like hooked up in a harness and rocks, and you like lean over and you get in an L shape and you like walk down and I have trust issues.
Well, you'll be doing it yourself. You'll have to let yourself down on this one.
Oh, so it's different than what I'm used to in the Army.
I grew up rock climbing in college and absolutely loved it. So I love rappelling, I love rock climbing. But when you're rock climbing too, if you have a static line, then somebody else, she's right, somebody else is belaying you. And I climbed with my best friend in college. And there were times, I mean, I'm bigger than him. I was like 40, 50 pounds bigger than him. So I'm like, wait,
how does this work?
Even out. But it does work out. It's all science.
Well, they have something hooked up, right? I don't know. I have.
Yeah, there's safety precautions.
I live
Rachel, don't worry.
No one's letting me die. Thank God. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to zoom out for a second because what we're talking about, I think there's a bigger philosophy and what you're doing that people need to hear, particularly in Baddies Nation. So we talked about it a little bit earlier, like real estate investors are always talking about passive income. And yes, we love passive income, but there's this other thing that you're building, which is active income that you actually want to show up for as well. We're going to cut this, Kate. That question is stupid. And I'm like totally I'm like, what is this? What am I? Hello? Where are you guys? There you are. Sorry, guys. I was just like, this is crap. Can we please cut that, Kate? Let's go to do you want to talk at all, Trevor, while we're filming this about what you're doing with Michael, or do you just want to go into the REI Baddies thing?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. We can kind of segue.
Okay, so because I'm taking that let me do a quick 10-second, Kate, so that way. Okay, Trevor. So the other thing I want to talk about a little bit is you are doing some work with my husband on Anchor and Staff. Yes. And so do you mind filling Kate, myself, and the REI Baddies Nation? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'll fill them in on, I won't lie. I can't lie, Rachel. Rachel was a little jealous when I first started talking to Michael.
I was very jealous.
She was. I can see why. She kept him very well hidden, I would say, this first year. If you know Rachel, she's not outspoken. Not at all.
No.
Michael was a little quieter, but Michael is a certified badass in his own right, and a very smart, intellectual guy, but very intuitive. And once he and I started talking and kind of hearing more of his background, and he heard what I was good at, I heard what he was good at, he actually made the connection. I was like, well, we should just start this marketing agency. I was like, cool. What is that? I had no idea.
I didn't know that.
I don't speak that language. I show up with the camera. I talk to people. I try and help make them look good. But usually, again, that's my wife. She makes the people look good. I do everything else. And we just got to talking about how, his background with PsyOps and the military and his W-2 and all of the things, strategy, branding, marketing, he kind of had that on lock. And he's like, well, your creative side. And then we got John Rodriguez involved, which he's worked for Credit Karma for a long time. He's a web designer. He does a lot of amazing stuff and has really been looking to be a creative director. And we kind of found this harmony between the three of us of like, we each had our own strengths that honestly bounced off really well. And we really liked hanging out and talking. And it just became this idea of, hey, let's create a creative marketing agency. So actually, when I went out to LA to shoot for Matt and the Creative Nation tour, that's something that we kind of highlighted was I was there as a contractor for Anchor and Staff. And that was the first kind of opportunity we got to start putting that out there. And I've been talking about it a lot again of all the things that we have to offer. And even had a conversation again yesterday with somebody talking about social media. And she speaks on a bunch of stages. You would know who this person is, but not necessarily just needing a videographer to show up and shoot. but more of creative strategy for social media, some branding advice and things like that. And I kind of said, hey, this is what we're doing as a group. We'd love to talk to you about that more and see what we could have to offer and do an intake. And she was open to that. So very excited to see, the next couple steps that we have with Michael, John, and myself.
I'm very excited to see what that means for our active income and our house as well as yours and John's.
Yes. I think we're all excited for that. And then you say that, but we talk about active income. This is a little segue. We talked about active income. We talked about Mount Everest this year in Owners Club, and I kind of got lost only on active income. I started with my, Everest, but I listened, and it was like, you need active income. You need active income. And as, we got through the year, fix and flip is one way, but I don't want it to be the only way because it's in big chunks. Versus talking about this is already something we're doing. This is already something that Lindsay and I do anyway. Just leveraging our skills, and I found it as a way to, again, kind of segue our skills into the real estate realm too.
It goes back to what Pace is talking about with creating an economy. Like, you can't create an economy where everyone does the same three things.
Yep.
You can't.
Everybody can't do RV parks and co-living.
No.
Really?
So now what we can do is make so much money that we need to purchase more properties creatively and by being networked together. And I think that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing right now, Trevor.
I agree. And I think those relationships and those opportunities will come from working with these clients with the marketing agency. I've already started to see more opportunities come. That's going to come from these retreats. I want to bring like-minded people out there that are looking for that next opportunity or those, that next connection. And I really think that's something I'm good at, just as well as yourselves, obviously through this podcast, but your natural skills of just connecting the right people to the right things. And all of a sudden you connect the right people that have good minds and good hearts. You're in the deal too. They're not just like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Rachel. Hey, thanks, Kate. Thanks for the connection. See ya. No, it's like, you made this connection. You deserve to be in this involved too. So that's more along the lines that I'm realizing those are more of my skills of playing as the connector, even though I hate that word of like, oh, is there a connector involved in the deal? I mean, we've all heard Pace's story of the Rolodex and the guy who just knew so many people. It's like, yeah, but how does he make money? And he's like, he connects everybody. I'm like, that's who I want to be.
Yeah, we had Edgar the connector. Yeah.
Good guy. Yeah. Stay with us in Miami.
Yeah. Edgar is probably the king of being able to do that and monetize on it. It's been incredible watching what he's doing.
And he's just one of the most, he's a great dude.
Kate, he's talking, I was going to say, Trevor's talking about what he's doing with John and my husband. We also,
I'm not going to lie. I had no idea that this was even happening until I read this about a couple of yesterday. So, what is going on in my Baddie Nation with we're bringing on the men? Is that what I hear?
Well, the REI Baddies sometimes need the REI Daddies. I'm pretty sure.
Do I get a daddy in this, or do I just get to be the fifth wheel now?
Unfortunately, the 3 REI Daddies are already spoken for, Kate. I'm
so
really
great. I am again.
Yeah.
I'm now
bring on some guests that I can send your way.
7th wheel. Not only I'm usually the 3rd, maybe the 5th. Now I'm the 7th daddy. Okay, thanks. 7th wheel. Oh, lucky 7.
I'm just dying because, Kate, this is not the first episode where we've talked about finding your REI daddy. I'm pretty sure that was in our Valentine's Day.
I'm not saying we're not looking for the REI daddy. I'm just saying that I am totally obsessed with this idea. I think this idea is so awesome. I think this would it's going to be fun for everyone.
What do you guys think of doing with it?
I know. What is the deal with
Good question. I'm pretty sure the idea came up over some adult beverages in Miami when we were all hanging out together. I believe Rachel was there. I can't remember if that was before or after I fell asleep, but I did fall asleep on the couch while talking to your husband, Rachel, and John. Although I was thoroughly engaged, I was also thoroughly exhausted.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up the next day and be like, yeah, we should do this podcast, this spinoff on REI Baddies. Let's do the REI Daddies. And honestly, we came out hot and heavy and we're like, oh, let's film our first episode before Squad Up. Let's do live. And we dialed it back because all 3 of us are definitely running in our own lanes. And we're trying to merge those. But what I've realized in this is if you just abandon everything you were doing before that and just jump on the next new idea, it won't be successful. So what I do really love about the 2 guys I'm working with is we all have our own things. They realize I'm not going to stop fix and flipping with Robert. I realize John has had his W-2 and is a business owner of a landscape company that is very important. And we also know Mike has his W-2 and has been working on transitioning. So we've all got our things. So we didn't just abandon those. And at first I was like, let's do this. And we all kind of dialed back and we were like, all right, we all have our own things. Let's make time for, and let's let this kind of become natural and let it kind of
do it right.
shape itself and do it the right way versus just like forcing it. So
I agree.
Truthfully, still, it is just an idea. We've had lots of ideas around it. We have not officially recorded our first podcast. However, we did have a brainstorming session that we recorded, and it was a lot of fun. We have a lot of ideas talking about not only being a father, being a male, especially in real estate, but also just an entrepreneur and things that we want to instill. So I think it's not just real estate. It's more also life and being a dad and sharing some life lessons too. So
Trevor, I love this, even though I was like quasi in my feelings about it. And actually the idea I would like to share. Kate, do you remember where this idea came from? Because I do.
No, you gotta tell me.
This was on episode 23 with Justin Tumanowski that we did live for New Year's. Because Michael was on the call, and I think him and Tumanowski made a joke about REI Daddies. And like any good joke, you just can't let it die.
That's right.
But I love this. I know I've been like quasi in my feelings about it because I'm like, you can't take my thing. But I think REI Daddies is a.
I mean, I think it's definitely good for both brands.
Yep.
I think it really benefits.
Do
So
you want to run into rapid fire?
All right, Trevor, this is gonna it's rapid fire, answer questions, nothing long, quick.
I didn't read this part yet, so.
Okay, Trevor, no thinking, just go. Fix or flip or creative service? Which one gets you out of bed faster in the morning?
Creative service.
Best photo you've ever taken? What was it?
Rocket launch, probably. Either time caught the rocket transiting the sun in mid-flight or transiting the moon in mid-flight.
If REI Daddies had a tagline, what would it be?
Don't leave your kids with us if they want them to come back alive.
One skill every real estate investor should develop that has nothing to do with real estate.
It has nothing to do with real estate. Oh.
A skill that an investor
Before that, I was going to say raising capital. That has
One skill every real estate investor should develop that has nothing to do with real estate. You just say marketing.
Don't you?
Communication with... What? I was going to say there's a caveat to that. There's a communication, but I'd say communication with your partner. Not only your business partner.
Yep, your
but
spouse.
Your partner. Yes. 100%.
Last one. What does Michael say when you pitched him REI Daddy's idea? Did he support the vision or not?
I think he actually might have pitched me because of that episode. And I was like, wait a minute, you want me to be an REI daddy? Yes, please.
Yes,
please. All right. I love this. Trevor, so we're going to deviate a little bit because we've gotten to the point where it's the last question. And you've obviously answered what it means to be an REI baddie. So today, I'm going to change it up a little bit with you. Well, actually, Kate and I are changing it up. What does it mean to be an REI daddy, Trevor?
I'm debating on whether to go deep on this one and give the actual meaning or to make a joke, because making a joke would be very on brand for me. But I'm going to switch it up on you then, too. I'll go serious, because when I think of being an REI daddy, and Michael and John and I have had this conversation and some things that we've connected on for family, faith, as well as business and entrepreneurship. So when I think of being an REI daddy, it's somebody who not necessarily is a father figure, but somebody who leads, somebody who talks the talk and walks the walk, but also brings others along with them, because that's what a dad really is in my mind, is somebody who trains and educates their kids. So if you're not an actual dad, there's still opportunity to do that as a leader within the space, and that's bringing people along with you. That's owning your shit. It's not putting it off and blaming others. Extreme ownership. We all heard Jocko. I've read all of his books multiple times. That was a big part of my leadership journey within my W-2, and still go with that. And I know Rachel and I see very eye to eye on that, is extreme ownership. Just own your stuff. Like, even if it may not be directly your fault and somebody else's fault, the difference between a leader and a manager is that manager may be like, well, so-and-so didn't do their job. Well, you're their manager. That falls on you. So why are you just throwing shit downhill? Take it up and figure it out and fix it. If they don't do their job, that's on me. I make up for what they did, and the job's done. So anyway.
Well said.
I love this. Trevor, as you know, you're one of my favorite people, and this has been a great conversation and clearly did not disappoint. Thank you so much for coming back and for showing us, like, and Baddies Nation, like, what this looks like to build something over time, right? It's not just Kate and I interviewed you and Robert and it's done. We've clearly all maintained a relationship in this space.
Episode 7. I mean, and I think that that's the really interesting and awesome thing about our community, is that we are, like you said, we're all we're together and we always lift each other up and try to bring each other along for the ride. And yeah, well, thanks for manifesting the whole REI Baddies, now Daddies thing. So that is my closing statement. There is nothing
This
else.
is not a closing statement, Kate. We have more to say.
I know. Well, I don't know what else to say.
Oh my gosh. Baddies Nation, if this one resonated, please share it. Tag someone who needs to hear that their skills are worth more than they're charging. And as of today, we are at 505 strong, completely organic subscribers. And every one of these shares and subscribers means something. So please leave a review and keep us growing.
Yes. So new episodes, don't forget, every single Monday at 6 a.m. And now we're going to be doing something on Sunday nights to kind of give you a preview of what's happening on Monday mornings. So thank you so much. If there is actually someone out there that you want to either tell us about that you would like to see being interviewed, or you yourself would like to be interviewed, we're always open to that conversation. Just reach out to Rachel and I, and we'd be happy to have that conversation. So until next time,
Stay batty.
stay batty.